Hey guys, this is Paul, and as you can tell, this is not my normal setup. I'm gonna be trying sort of a different video today, and the reason this isn't my normal setup is because in this video, I'm gonna be giving you guys a behind the scenes look at the entire video creation process that I go through for most of the videos you see on my channel. The particular video that I'm gonna be working on today is actually gonna be uploaded to my new channel, so make sure to go and watch that video first and then come back to this one to see how it was made. By the way, the new channel is gonna be slightly less tech oriented, probably a little bit more informal, kind of like vlog style footage. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check it out and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so the first step for any video that I make is to brainstorm for ideas. And to do this, I normally just pull out a sheet of paper and write down any idea that I have that comes to mind. So I normally write down maybe 5 to 10 ideas and maybe take a couple notes beneath each one of them. And then I just pick one depending on which one I feel suits my channel best and whichever one I really feel like filming. That mowing is really annoying me. Sometimes after doing this just once, I can go back to a previous page that I'd written ideas on and pick one of those and go with them. But sometimes it's also nice to just start with a fresh sheet of paper and brand new ideas. So I've actually already picked the ideas for the video that we're gonna be making today, so we can skip the brainstorming and move on to the next step, which is scripting and outlining the video. I script pretty much all of my videos right in Google Drive so that I can access them from any of my devices. And I normally start by renaming the document to whatever the title of the video is gonna be. I have different methods of scripting depending on how I want the video to go. So sometimes I write out exactly what I wanna say word for word, and other times I just use bullet points to kind of keep me on track with what I wanna talk about. Scripting is a really necessary step for me because if I personally didn't script my videos, they would have just no direction whatsoever and the video would end up being a complete mess. The entire scripting process normally takes about an hour, maybe 2 hours if it's a really long video. Okay, so I just finished the script and it looks like this one's a little over 2 pages in Google Docs. So this is probably gonna be a pretty long video, and the next step is to actually film it. All right, so I finished scripting the video last night, but I decided to take a break and I waited until today to start the next step of the process, which is filming. Okay, so in just a second, I'm gonna do a quick time lapse of me setting up all my equipment. It normally takes about 10 to 20 minutes, but first I wanted to give you all a behind the scenes look into my equipment closet. It's not really too exciting, but I have my soft boxes, my mic stand, and so I'm gonna get to setting that up. All right, I guess that's about it for the setup. It was pretty quick this time, only took about 10 minutes. Now, I'm not gonna go in depth in this video into every piece of gear that I use because I already made a video on that last year. So if you wanna see an in-depth analysis, sort of like a mini review of every single piece of equipment that I use, you can click the card up above. But here's a quick rundown. Camera, Sony a6500. Lens, Sigma 18 to 35 f1.8 with the Sigma MC11 adapter. Monitor, Andy Cine A6. Tripod, Dolica AX620. Video head, Manfrotto 502. Microphone, Zoom H1 attached to my Array boom mic stand. Lights, Limo Studio 4-socket softboxes attached to Amazon Basics light stands. I think that covers everything, and of course I'll have links to all the equipment I use in the description down below. So now everything is set up, and here's the view I have from where I'm sitting. Got the lights over there, the microphone, the camera, another light, and then I'm gonna be working with the iPad Pro in this video. Now it's time to actually start filming. I'm gonna leave this camera running in the background so you can see authentic footage of how it normally goes down. Hey guys, this is Paul and welcome to my new channel. Okay, so I think this is about 2, maybe 3 hours after I started filming, and this one took a super long time to film. I actually completed the video all the way through once, and when I went to play it back, I realized it had only recorded 5 minutes of storage because the memory card on my camera ran out of storage. So that was a bummer. I had to refilm the entire thing. Now I'm pretty exhausted, but it's time to move on to editing. So we're gonna get started on that in just a minute. Okay, so I just took a couple hours off. I went and ate dinner and I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed now. So I think I'm ready to sit down and push through this edit for a few hours. For me, editing is both the least enjoyable and the most enjoyable part of the entire video creation process. And I say that because I hate trimming down A-roll. I find it to be extremely monotonous. It's just basically 20 minutes of listening to yourself mess up over and over again. But then I also really like the more creative parts of editing, like color grading. I think it's really cool to take this bland image from the camera and really transform it into a beautiful shot. So I'm just gonna set this camera up over here, clip it onto this little monopod, and I think I'm just gonna film a little time lapse of me editing for a couple hours. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so I always start by creating a new library in Final Cut Pro. So I learned this tip from somebody who went on Matt Diavella's podcast. I can't remember exactly who they were, but they said they always name their projects starting with the year, then the month, then the date. And this makes it super easy if you ever need to go back and find any clips from a project that you worked on in the past. So I started doing that, and I think it's a really good organization method for working with your older footage. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and import all of our footage from our SD card. Now that all the footage has been imported, it's time to start trimming down the A-roll, which again is my least favorite part of the whole process, but it's gotta be done. After 40 minutes, I'm finally done trimming down the A-roll. That took way longer than I actually thought it would, but now it's time to move on to one of the parts I actually enjoy a lot more, at least, color grading. So I'll just show you the standard steps I take to color grade my A-roll. Okay, so we just have this normal clip here, and I always start by dragging over color board. And since I shoot in a pretty flat color profile, I normally start by bumping up the saturation, so maybe 15, maybe 25%. Just add some more color to that shot. Okay, so I think 40 actually isn't too much in this case, and then I'll move on to exposure. You can see there's certain parts of this clip that are overexposed, like this light here and this window in the background. I'm not too worried about those, but I will bring down the highlights a little bit and also the shadows just a little bit. Sort of add some contrast to the image as well. I think it's already starting to look a lot better. We can mess around with the exposure of the midtones. Looks like we could maybe bring those down a little bit too. Then in the color board is where you actually apply the grade to the footage, and I normally go for the standard orange and blue look. So to do that, I normally just leave shadows at 180 and maybe bring them up to 20%. And it looks really blue right now, but when you bring midtones over to 180 and also bring them down to maybe -20, kind of balances things out and gives it a more cinematic look. Okay, so this is almost done. It's still not too contrasty, so I might apply crisp contrast and just drag that over. Now, by default, it's set to 100, which is way too much. I normally bring it down to 10, and we'll see how it looks without it. Yeah, maybe a little bit less than that, so bring it down to 7, and I think that looks pretty good. So we can see what it looks like with the effects, and this is what it looked like before. Yeah, it's a minor grade, but I like how it looks. So once you already have one clip done, at least in Final Cut Pro, you can just press Command-C to copy that, and then highlight all your other clips, and then press Command-Shift-V, and you can paste attributes from that first clip to the rest of the clips. So now all the clips are color graded and good to go. So all the A-roll is good to go at this point, and now I'm gonna spend most of my time dragging in B-roll to the appropriate places. Okay, so I think I've finished the edit at this point. I've probably been editing like 2 or 3 hours total. This video wasn't too complicated because I didn't have a ton of B-roll, and I also didn't add in any music or too many like special effects because this video really doesn't need it. I think it's better off just being simplistic like this. So now the video is pretty much 99% complete. I think all I have left to do is to make the thumbnail and then upload it to YouTube. And I'm gonna try to do that quickly because I'm getting pretty tired and probably want to go to bed soon. Okay, so I'll give you guys a quick look into how I make my thumbnails. I'd say about 90% of my thumbnails are really just screenshots or stills from my videos. So I'm just gonna scroll through and find a spot that looks like it would be good for a thumbnail. Okay, I think this image would definitely be usable, so we're gonna go ahead and export this frame. So I'll look for a couple more. I think this one's good too. So now what I do is I just pull all my stills into Photoshop. I create a new 1920 by 1080 canvas and just drag those 2 thumb images into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and crop this one just to make it look a little bit better. Okay. And now the last thing to do is just add some text. Maybe add a drop shadow and maybe edit this picture a little bit. Now we'll zoom out and see how it looks. I think that looks okay. Okay, now we're gonna export the entire video and upload it to YouTube. It just finished exporting, now it's time to upload. This is my favorite part because it means I'm finally done working. So I selected the file, it's now uploading, and now I just fill in the title, description, and tags, and I'll be done. So that's pretty much it. The video is completely finished at this point. All I have to do is click publish, but there's 41 minutes left in this upload because our Wi-Fi is super slow. So in this video, you guys saw an entire video creation process from start to finish in almost 24 hours. I think I took a little bit longer than that. Hopefully this video was able to convey just how much work can go into a single video. I know I'm completely exhausted after working on this all day, and I'm probably gonna go to bed as soon as this finishes uploading. Anyways, I think now is a good time to wrap this video up, and if you wanna see the video that I was working on throughout this entire project, that'll be the first link in the description down below. I'd also really appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to my other channel where I'll be posting all sorts of non-tech related content. Of course, I'll keep on uploading all my tech videos to this channel, but I'll be uploading a lot more additional content to the other channel. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe for some more content coming soon.